Shifting patterns, a change in beliefs and attitudes among individuals, families, and our communities. These programs help people gain the skills, the knowledge, and the allies they will need, enabling them to take control of their lives. Career Vision identifies the career skills and goals of the individual and finds career-oriented employment that will satisfy those goals.
Currently, Stephen has 3 objectives that he's working on. These objectives are objectives that I write through Kaposia to enhance his performance on the job. Stephen needs no assistance in performing the actual tasks on the job. He's very independent and very on task, very into his job. In fact, often he has to be reminded to go to lunch because he's a perfectionist. The areas that I work on with Stephen are in the areas of grooming, you know, tucking his shirt in, looking good for the bank, because it's a professional place. People are expected to wear appropriate attire, and that's real important to his boss.
We had 2 alternatives, 2 game plans at the time. One, he could work in our statement area and help generate or render the statements for our customers, the checking accounts and savings account statements. It turned out that wasn't a real perfect fit for him. We then went to our backup plan, which was to get him involved working in our filing area, and it was a good choice. It was a job he could do very well, and he's made an excellent contribution to our bank since that time.
How are you coming with your filing? Do we have all of our open files done?
The mortgage files.
The mortgage files, do you have those left to do?
Yeah, those are there.
Okay, we'll get those. All of the installment loan files are filed away.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we'll probably have you do is file the mortgage files away and then have you work in the other vault.
Okay, yes.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
He started out at the bank being a temporary worker, and in order to work at the bank, you have to have so many hours in a year to be considered a permanent employee. And that's what Stephen's working on now. He started out working 3 days a week, and now he's working 4 days a week so that he can have increased hours, so that he can gain benefits and other things that the other co-workers of the bank earn. And I think that he deserves it. He does a good job at the bank, and he deserves to have paid vacations and paid sick time and those other benefits.
Brad went through his Career Vision program about 2 years ago, and he was just coming out of school at the time when he went through that, and so he does not have much of a career history, so to speak. He's had 2 different jobs that he's been permanently placed at through Kaposia, and then he's had a number of odd jobs, Minnesota Mutual being the second one that he's been placed at, and he's been there for about 2.5 months now. Brad's primary outcomes from his Career Vision plan were independence and making money. Brad wanted to make at least $200 a month, which he is very close to right now at Minnesota Mutual, and he wanted to work about 20 hours a month. He's currently working more than 20 hours, but he is making almost the $20. The other area was the independence, and Brad saw that as being independence, especially in the transportation area. After the Career Vision plan was done, Brad was referred to our Kaposia Inc. sales department. The sales reps then go out and look for employment for that particular person, making that job match between what their desired outcomes are and what the job has to offer.
I do the recycling, and I take the barrels down. I pick them up from 21. I pick up 8 from 8 floors, and then I take them down to lower level, recycle them and stuff like that. It's a nice experience, and I get to explore the the offices and see where everybody works and stuff like that. And I have Tim as a friend and everybody else, and it's a pretty good paycheck, I think.
People First is an international movement of people with developmental disabilities advocating on their own behalf.
People First is an organization of self-advocates teaching self-advocates to talk for themselves, to tell them that they have choices in life, and that their life can be rewarding by belonging to People First, and to be a good self-advocate, to be a good self-advocate for themselves, to be a good self-advocate for their friends, and to know what this community is all about. Self-advocacy makes me feel good because it gave me a chance to talk out. It gave me a chance to speak and how I feel about things, and why, and to be able to prove that there is a place in society for people who are so-called mentally retarded or so-called handicapped. Things have changed. When I was a little boy, a lot of talk was institutions, and now we're closing up institutions. And what does that going to mean 10, 15 years from now? I have seen change, and I've seen good change. I have seen some bad change, but I have seen some change because we're talking about quality of life. We're talking about people's happiness, their welfare. People are learning how to live in apartments, and they're out in the community doing their thing, and they're being challenged. In some cases, people in my life, in my age bracket, I don't think we're ever really challenged very properly to the best of their ability, and nothing more. And if they would have been challenged according to their ability, who knows what they'd be doing today? Because many years ago, there was a lady that came to a self-advocacy meeting. She was very shook up, and she started to cry, and she yelled, "Irving, will I ever get out?" It was a good thing there was a staff person there from the ARC there, because I even started to cry. This lady had a little boy. There was no father involved. And she was very frustrated. And she said, "Will I ever get out?" And she told me exactly what she wanted. And she was crying. She was mad. She had a meeting with a social worker. And I guess the social worker in her had it really out verbally. And because of that, today she's a very happy person. Child Protection had to take that loved one away for the good of the welfare and for the welfare of her. They're back together today. They're happy. And that young man is perfectly normal. And he helps his mother read. And he loves his mother. And that's what this life is all about.
Partners in Policymaking is an intensive course that teaches individuals to be community leaders. They use their new skills to obtain better services and to influence public policy.
I said, "Well, what is Partners in Policy?" And they explained to me that it was a eight-month seminar.
What the training did was it provided us with state-of-the-art information and top-notch experts from around the country.
Personally, it has really sped up my life. I've really become busier than I wanted to, but personally, it's kind of made life more gratifying because I was able to talk to people that I didn't know before, and also have some influence on what's happening out there for people with disabilities. I know from the level that I'm at work here, I'm able to work with people at the management levels, influence accessibility type issues within all the facilities of the corporation. I work with plant engineering people. I'm a mechanical engineer myself, and so I was able to influence, my environment.
Okay, we're rolling tape.
Hello, and welcome to the Disabilities Show. My name is Steve Hansen. I'm your host. Tonight we're going to deal with an organization called Capable Partners Incorporated.
And with our TV show, we're able to basically call up people in the network that I have anyway, the list of people, and talk to certain organizations that want to be on the show. So we can bring them to our show, have a half-hour show and shoot that, and then and get the information about those services that they have out into the community. The Partners in Policy group has taught me how to basically be able to talk to people. And I was always a very shy person before, and I think it's the group has, you know, I was able to get up in front of a group at Partners in Policy. It gave me the confidence to go ahead and do that with what I do here at work. Also what I do outside of work with the cable TV show.
It was a really exciting thing. It was also exciting to learn how to work with different members of the political process. That's something a lot of people don't get to do, and since I've done that, I have delivered testimony at local, state, and even federal levels, and that's been really quite exciting and quite rewarding.
Through personal futures planning, individuals envision a better future. With their circle of support, they focus on their unique gifts and capacities and map their journey to a new personal future.
This is your real birthday. This is real birthday.
Usually what happens is that people will get together initially to develop a personal profile. What that is it's just kind of like the person's life story. And so that everybody has some common ground and some common understanding about where this person's been, where this person wants to go.
Well, basically, you start at those meetings, or at least the first meeting anyway, with talking about your wildest dreams and things you'd like to do. Then you start narrowing things down to things you actually can do and things you want to do.
And then there's a second meeting that's called the Futures Planning Meeting. And that's kind of identifying some strategies, brainstorming, problem solving, about how it is that we can help that person get to where it is that they want to be.
I'd like to get a checking account.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if I can do better with this next one than I did with the last one.
Personal futures planning isn't kind of this miracle process that changes people into somebody that they're not. It's more of a process of strengthening a person's abilities to make own decisions and to live happier lives and to be as independent as they can.
It helped me get to where I am today.
Personal futures planning means defining life not by services provided, but by relationships, the community, a career, a home, and a future.
Yeah, once you're open. There we go.
Personal futures planning calls on people to act as friends rather than staff. It organizes people for action, and when the action starts, the changes can be dramatic.
When I first got to know Charlie, he was living in a home with 3 or 4 other fellows who are developmentally disabled. He had some difficulties with his roommates. He had some problems with people as he'd encounter them in the community. And things have really changed for him. He doesn't have those problems anymore. He can go places and meet people and have regular conversations with folks. He can spend time in regular places like you and I do. That's not to say that there are not problems still, but they aren't as frequent or as intense as they used to be. Probably one of the most exciting things that I've seen with Charlie is his ability to speak his mind and know what he wants. He makes it pretty clear to people. Now he tells us, in the old days, he might have done some pretty destructive kinds of things to let people know what he wanted. He has names for things now. There are things that are important to him, like having a job, working, having friends, having a nice place to live that has nice furniture, and he lets folks know about that stuff.
Charlie's self-esteem, I think, directly relates to his sense of accomplishment. And in the few months that Charlie's lived at his home and has been involved with his personal futures planning team, I think Charlie's really had an opportunity to have a lot of accomplishments. And I've seen his self-esteem and self-concept grow as a result of that. It's a nice thing to see.
Yeah, right there. Start with Charlie. That's Charlie.
That's me.
Yes.
That's my roommate.
It's done a lot of good to him, especially living alone. Getting out of the group home type setting has helped considerably.
His world was small, and now it's growing, and it's getting bigger, and that's helped because we're not the focus of his life like we were, and that has helped a lot. And this has helped having this kind of a program for him because, as you can tell from the people that are here today, they're all interested in seeing that Charlie's life grows.